What is up, people? All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the lecture I premiered a little while ago. I genuinely thank Barney for getting me onto those. I'm probably gonna, which you'll probably see is a ongoing, like probably every once a week, maybe twice a week. You'll see probably a few of those type of premieres coming up. And we fix my mic so I can be able to hear. Let me go ahead and get that on. What's up, Sasha? How you doing, sir?
Hey.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. All right. Just wanted to make sure. What's up, Alan? How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
What's up, Farmers? How you doing?
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Pretty damn good. What are you guys up? What are you guys up to?
Oh, I'm recovering. I was paintballing today.
How's the spine feel?
No, the spine's all right. The legs are a bit wobbly, and it was bloody hot out there today. And of course, I had bugger all sleep because I was in Channel Q's Discord server till about 1:15 this morning, and then I got up at 6. So I'm fucked.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. No, it was a good laugh, but it was a little bit warm out there today to be running around with all the clobber on.
Yeah. I think
there you go.
It's probably about 92 here, but it's extremely hot today for San Diego, so kind of excited about it.
I think we're getting a heat wave in the middle of the week. Apparently, it's gradually building up. I mean, we are 19 degrees Celsius, which is, if I quickly convert the units on my app, 66 at the moment, and we're going to have a high of 88 on Tuesday. Oh, hello. We're going to have 90 on Thursday. Shit.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, we ain't used to that. It's hot for us.
Trouble is, for us at 8:30 in the evening, it should be cooling down by now, and it ain't. And there's not a breath of wind.
No.
And it's really humid as well.
Oh, yes, it's really muggy.
Oh, yeah, we don't have that bad of a humidity here. If that fan gets annoying, let me know. I'll shut it off.
I keep meaning to buy a fan. I'll keep forgetting.
Yeah, well, we don't necessarily need them that often, do we?
No, but when you do need them, you think, shit, why didn't I buy one?
It's better than you have pumping AC where your bill goes up 600%.
Yeah. We don't have
somebody,
AC.
What about somebody we know who has got AC?
Yes, he has, hasn't he?
I bet he's in his office today, isn't he?
Who?
Yeah, I bet. Oh, your favourite, Dean.
Oh, fucking Dean.
he fitted air conditioning the other week to his office at home. I think I don't know whether it was just his office. I presume it was.
And told everyone about it.
Everyone,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
you got it. Yeah,
Of course, it's good old Dean.
I mean, it's this sort of weather that I don't ride the motorbike because it's too hot, and I will take the car because the car does have air conditioning. It's when it gets too hot for the motorbike that you know it's too hot.
Well, yeah, I've ridden before, and I've ridden halfway to Vegas. It was 93 dry,
Ooh.
and we got maybe 3 hours towards Vegas, and stopped in Bakersfield, and my face felt like someone had been slapping me with sandpaper for an hour, and I was wearing a full face too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's half the problem because I will wear all the kit because I don't want to have half my flesh ground off if I have a crash or something. So you've got to have helmet, gloves, jacket, boots for ankle protection, and it gets kin hot. It really does. But you've got to, because I've seen what happens if you come off when you're not wearing protection, and I don't want to see my bones where my flesh has been ground off on the road, and they call it road rash.
Yes, so the reason I don't own a bike is that I have a lot of friends that own bikes and a lot of friends that are permanently disabled because of bikes.
Yes.
Whether it be just the injury or debilitating. That's why I don't have a bike. Everyone has a story. I'm told everyone has a story, and if they don't, they will. And I don't want one, so. I mean,
fair enough.
I have it from every spectrum. Like I have a buddy of mine who was in, I think, third gear, sat up to adjust, and kicked it into first on the freeway. So he went head over heels. To a buddy of mine that slid out in the rain and got his foot caught in the chain. So it goes from 0 to 100, and I'm just not one. I don't want a story.
No.
So. Yeah.
I did all my injuries sort of prattling about with dirt bikes off-road. So I fractured the same ankle twice. I nearly took an eye out because I didn't have my crash helmet on, and I crashed and my glasses smashed into my face.
Ooh.
So I have a lovely scar above one eye. That was king close. I'm kind of hoping I don't add to that list, I tried to sort of take care to what I'm doing, but I tell you what, round here these days, people seem to be switched on to bikers.
Well, I mean, I still want one. The problem is I don't want to. First of all, I won't ride a dirt bike. I tried one time, got about 30 feet from camp, and said, "Hey, you better come get your shit because I'm gonna drop it in about 10 seconds." But nonetheless, hope everyone caught the lecture.
Yeah, actually,
I caught some of it, but I was busy doing things and stuff, so I might have to revisit that.
Yeah, so it was just so it's part of a 6-part lecture Feynman did, and Barney turned me on to it. Remember when we were doing the whole gravity force versus blah blah blah, space time and all that. I'm one ahead of what I've shown so far, so I still don't understand anything, but it's interesting to listen to. It takes me at least 2 times to start grasping concepts that he's saying. The best part is that he does explain it better than anybody.
Yeah. Oh God, I wish Feynman could have taught me physics.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, so people.
That's all you have to say, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people, basically when I was watching it, and he repeated this so passionately in this lecture, where the difference between what a physicist knows and understands compared to how to explain it to us are so far apart, so different, it's almost impossible. Like he was explaining, we can't fully understand what they're figuring out because we don't have that fundamental knowledge of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's odd because Feynman was one of those Feynman is probably one of the greatest physicists ever to have lived, right up there with Einstein and Newton. And yet his ability to teach is outstanding, and that's not something you necessarily find in the absolutely most brilliant people.
Yeah. Well, what's the best way to explain it? It's impossible, or it's almost impossible, for someone to not only have so much knowledge in something, but be able to explain it in a way that, as he adamantly said, the layman can understand in a way.
Well, Einstein said something along the lines as if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you don't know enough about the subject.
Yeah.
And that's kind of puts us where we are in this whole debate back and forth, because
He clearly understands it enough to be able to put it into layman terms.
and that's going to be the type of person that comes up with a alternative or a add-on or whatever you want to call it of what we know as gravity today.
DLC.
1 second, I'm trying to type it. I can't type at the same time. I'm so retarded. I don't know why I do this, and I could just be saying it. Schrodinger's cat, check the secret Discord bunker.
Yeah, he's in there, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yes, he's in. Yeah, he's in there.
Okay.
What is that? I think I'm in that one, yeah.
Yeah, you're in it. Yeah, I just added you to it. It's basically where I can share the link and be comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to think
without
about
showing
it
it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah. And the realization is if someone needs a link, I can easily get it to them, but why share it if I don't need to right now? For the most part, yeah. I enjoy who's on the panel. I like it's been calm lately, so we keep it that way. And as to Pete, no, you're not blacklisted, but I mean, if you really want to have this conversation, maybe you should sit tight real quick and just hear what the topic's going to be, because I haven't even talked about it yet, and then we'll have you come on and see if you're ready. But like I said, past few days it's been really calm, and again, I don't need flat earthers on my panel. I just need people who are interested in having a conversation about what's going on and here to do the same thing I am, and that's listen and learn and add our opinions to things. One of the things that I definitely am going to be doing and starting to round up is the what I call, or Blue has helped me make the name of Hangout Mania, where basically I decided that I am going to find, I'll figure out a way for you guys to just enter names, and then I will start looking through those names. It's not going to be really a giveaway contest. It's going to be fun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the best ranters or argumentative people and take clips of their best ones and then kind of do a compilation with them. It'll be fun. It'll be more of a fun thing than anything. But
that's cool.
I have a fun, controversial conversation for today's stream. And I thought about this one. I know it's something that's going to stir a lot of emotions, but that's what I want.
The great provocateur.
All the ideas and theories and scientists that are working on these new developments in gravity. For instance, myself, I trust in Newtonian gravity, only in the fact that that's what I understand. If I'm using something, if I'm going to apply gravity and try to figure something out, I'm going to use Newtonian. Whereas in someone with a little bit higher of an education, or a lot higher of an education than I do, will have more of a better time.
Crash says let him in. Oh no, just go.
Whereas
I can't see the invite.
Yeah, just sent him in. Just brought him in. Whereas in general relativity, does not think of it as a force. Thinks as the curvature in space-time, which matter, which equals mass, creates. Then you have the new ones, or I guess you could say the old ones. I mean, they had to have had a part in it, no matter what. Some have fictional needs to exist. Some of them don't need any. But the way I see it is that right now they're taking a lot of steps to explain a lot of things, and gravity as we know it or we have known it won't be the same 20 years from now, guaranteed.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, they're constantly expanding on the idea and coming up with different ideas and different ways to explain it. And the more we understand, the better, I guess. Instead of reverting back to it doesn't exist. I mean, whether you argue whether it's an effect or a force, it's still the reason why everything is. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's actually a new argument that Anthony's come up with that. Well, I guess it's new. I guess it might be old. That an effect cannot cause anything.
That's
What?
just ridiculous, man.
An effect cannot cause anything. So the effect
But hang
on a
on.
wave.
Causing causality.
But I don't understand that at all. So hang on. So a wave, for instance, is an effect of kinetic energy and gravity. I look at it as the end of the wave being kinetic. There's not enough kinetic energy to overtake gravity. Therefore, gravity wins.
Yeah, the way Riley was fucking it up today was well, sorry, pardon my language. The way Riley was messing things up today was he was saying that gravity, as described in Newtonian physics, would be the effect of Einstein's bending of space-time. Therefore, gravity cannot cause the atmosphere to stick to a ball.
Well, the funny part is that it's actually would be the opposite. Where so this is like so I was looking up a lot of this stuff, and I kind of tell me if I'm wrong on this. This is kind of the idea I have on it. And I asked this question to Barney, and I think we got sidetracked by a Pete or something. I sent the link to you in the Discord message, Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, it helps if he logs into Discord.
Yeah, big time. I know
Which he hasn't.
I know he's there because I was checking, and I can see when he starts like he's reading a message. I can see it. So
he's offline. He's showing us offline at the moment.
Well, he was in and out. Oh, that's probably what it is then. Okay, so he was probably switching that or something.
I'll just tell him if he logs in, then he'll see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He should see it right away. I sent it to him like 6 different spots. In Matrix, if you're on channel Q's, I trying to bring you to the secret bunker, but I don't know if that's you or not, and I don't want to take the chance. Okay, actually, I know that's you. If you want to come in, I sent you a link in the Discord. But these different ideas in gravity. So, kind of grab my notes real quick so I don't splurge over these. Whereas in my thought is when it comes to Newtonian and general relativity, and again, this is very layman. This is very, very I don't have very much knowledge except for what I can grasp and try to concept. But
fair enough.
To explain general relativity, you need to understand what matter is and how matter then will equal the mass, which actually creates the curvature in space-time, which, in my opinion, still is a force. That it's doing something to the fourth dimension. Therefore, I mean, even general relativity needs it to be a force to explain it to explain how it bends space-time. Am I wrong in that?
It needs it to act as a force. You're correct.
So it does need it.
For it to be coherent, yes.
Yeah. So
the long and the short of it is it works.
We have to look at it as a force.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just we have to look at it that way. Whether it's definitely 100% a force or something we just can't explain yet. You know.
Hey, Cliff made it.
He's got here.
Why
Listen,
can't
figured out
Discord
how to
make
work
sense?
it does make sense. You just don't know how to make sense of it, old man.
Apparently not. I need to watch a tutorial or some shit. It's
You
ridiculous.
can research how Discord works on YouTube, bro.
But first, you'd have to research how YouTube works.
Or the
I-
computer.
I think you can do that with a simple Google search.
Am I the
Great,
only
a
one that
simple-
doesn't understand Discord?
Start
Yes.
with the Amiga and go from there.
Oh
Look,
my
look,
lord!
look, everyone's here. Yes.
Have you just seen what Pete Shear posted in the side chat? I'm just having trouble getting my head around that at the moment.
I saw he said something about SEAL Team 6 again. He's obsessed.
Rocket
Um,
Apollo.
Rocket
Right.
Apollo 11 penis set out for the moon. Womb man with 3 astronauticals (brackets seamen) in tow. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just too sober for this shit.
That's exactly, Pete. That's exactly why I waited, and then now I can see. Just because of that logic, I don't have time for it, man.
And he somehow connects it to 9/11. Obviously.
Crow, I'm gonna send you a link in the Discord.
I was just about to say I can understand some people when they see numbers and patterns and how it can make you be mystery until you said he attaches it to 9/11 somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Solomon,
well,
Sol
remember,
stroke moon.
Pete's not
What?
allowed to talk about 9/11 here. Why? Because
Oh.
Pete takes it too damn far.
Yeah.
Pete actually said something up the chat that was really quite interesting as well. He seems to
Okay.
think that a reflection can cause a force.
A reflection.
He said
Well,
that,
as in the reflection of light.
the
I think
reflection
it's-
of Aristarchus onto the firmament causes a pressing downward force, is what he said earlier.
Well, that's
If
just
pressing downward force, the pressure gradient would be reversed.
what pressure gradient? Pressure doesn't exist. Come on.
Don't
Shut
you
up, Carmen. I'm working on a
Did
video.
did I
on third
hear
bullshit.
Riley defending Spurs today about that?
No,
said-
I think you heard Riley questioning
Okay,
Spurs.
Yeah, he was
I'm trying to
questioning
figure out
Spurs.
still where
You heard
they all.
Slick defend him about it.
Well, he was
Damn it.
opposing him, but not very fervently.
No, because he doesn't understand anything about it either.
Right.
Well, the realization is that no one does because
just gonna say
atmospheric
that.
pressure is real to flat Earth and the globe. The only problem, and I think I was talking about this before, where I when I was a flat earther, I thought I could use atmospheric pressure as by gravity until I understood that atmospheric pressure is from everywhere.
That's the thing I don't think they get. Want to make
Sean, you know when that
downward.
happened to you?
It's-
Did you
it's
have
not a-
to remove? Did you have to remove your own biased thoughts on it to enable for you to see it clearly?
Absolutely. Well, okay, so here's
Yeah,
what it
it's
was.
not a downward force.
Well-
It's in every direction.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You can start off, and I explained this earlier, and here's why. And another thing that I think really confuses people, and this is why I'm probably not going to back off the whole gravity thing, is almost anything works to a point. I mean, electromagnetic gravity, or whatever the hell the fuck it was, that works to a certain point. Atmospheric pressure as gravity, it works to a certain point. That certain point is when the obvious happens. For instance, at sea level, our atmospheric pressure is 14.7. You feel 14.7. But when you climb Mount Everest, you don't feel 14.7. You feel the pressure gradient. Okay, but to me, there's less atmosphere pressing down on you now than there is up on you because you're further away from the center of the Earth. It works the same way into that aspect of gravity, but once you go past that, it doesn't work anymore. But atmospheric pressure does work to that point as gravity.
I think as well, like the fact it took so long for this to happen. Like it wasn't a fast process. Like Blink, it was here, and I don't think they can conceive that properly. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no. This is what they're not conceiving properly. That
Because if you
regardless
follow
of what
that path-
we figured it out or not, gravity or whatever it is has been here longer than we have.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's been here since the Earth was actually formed, because that's what brought the gravity that we know now into existence, was the planet actually forming from all the loose bits and bobs that it was into what it is now. And that's why we feel gravity, because there is that dirty great big mass that we all live on exerting that force on us. Gravity.
The Big Bang.
Yeah, I think the problem is that nobody's still really certain just what it was and what started it, and I don't know if we ever will.
Yeah.
It's too far back. It's too much guesswork.
Well, here's the other thing: the Big Bang, if it is a explanation for what they think to have happened, the realization is, to me, and this is why the Big Bang and all our existence kind of I don't know, is because something caused the Big Bang. When they describe the Big Bang, they are describing our known universe, therefore our universe in which we can see.
Yes.
So when people talk about the beginning, creation, we're not talking about even close to the same thing, for one. For two, I don't care the best scientists out there or the most holiest priest on earth. Nobody knows what happened before that.
Right.
We can't
Well,
even
we
see what happened before.
We don't even know before the Planck time. So at the instant that the Big Bang started, we don't know anything between that instant and the Planck time.
No.
Yeah.
And also, farmers, real quick, I did get your email. Thank you, sir.
Oh, good. That's all right then. I weren't too late then.
No, I still have stragglers that I'm trying. It's like herding kittens to try to get this done.
Yeah, I'll bet. Cool.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good
Shawn.
evening.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to share something, my understanding about gravity and the curvature of space-time.
Absolutely not.
So if you have a bowling ball and some marbles, they are near to each other. You just put them on the floor. The marbles are not going to move towards the bowling ball.
No.
And why
But
do
if
you
you
think that
put-
is?
It will not move. There could be some invisible force that we don't know, but if you do it, it will not move if the floor is level. But if you put that big ball, on a sheet or some kind of flexible mattress,
Yeah, that test we all did in elementary school.
the little marble will slide towards the ball. For now, there's obvious reason that there's some kind of curve or a slant angle that makes the marble go down. Now, if you put a weighing scale between the marble and the ball, you will detect a force, even though they are not there. There's no direct force pulling them together. But it's just this action of sliding into that curvature that's creating a force.
Yeah, that's a theory of the fabric, the space-time fabric theory.
So that's what
Einstein, I believe. Isn't it?
Yes, that's what Einstein says, and that's how
So that's the
Newton's
way of explaining
calculated.
how it works, he said it. So that was like trying to explain how it works. Not like it's literally a fabric or anything.
Well, he adamantly wanted to explain that we can't even conceptualize that fourth dimension, but it's there.
It's translated into a force at the end. Whatever
The best way I've seen to explain it is that when it's bent, when like space-time gets curved, or if an object is moving through space, it won't go in a perfectly straight line like it would if it was rolling across a flat surface. It would go kind of like a curve. If it was rolling through a bowl. If that makes sense, because of the force has curved space-time. So now, to that object straight would be kind of following a curve.
Well, that's the
Right.
the
surface is curved.
would be that, but yeah, traveling through space would be.
No, not an orbit. Just like if it was traveling straight for space, and there was
Be all over the
bending
place.
in space time.
So you know when a jet is
Like
flying
if it
over
went
the
by
ocean
yeah.
and he makes that rooster tail? Imagine the universe doing what the water does, where it does that, where the thrust kicks out the water, where it makes that little gully, that little half pipe looking thing.
Yeah.
That's what space is doing as something travels through it.
Well, I've heard somebody explain gravity layman terms, and he says it was like almost like a tank of water and putting a bowling ball in the water, and you've got that you're filling a void, so everything around you expands and then pressures in on that object. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be interesting is
Good point.
if we could have a level surface such as a table, perfectly level and perfectly frictionless, and exclude all other forces, and then put the two marbles in there. It's impossible to do. I don't know how you would ever do it, but it would be interesting to see what those two marbles would do. Clearly, they would attract each other, but how would they do that? Like, would it be straight, or would they orbit each other, or how would they move?
It would
I
depend
don't
on
know the answer to
the
that.
beginning of the inception of the movement of the beginning of, how it would start to move, I guess, would determine.
Yeah, well, yeah. But if they had any inertia to begin with, or did they? If you could start them from dead still,
Then I guess it would just be a direct pull.
that's what I don't know. I
Gradually
would,
getting faster
intuitively,
and
I would
faster.
think so, but I don't know. Would they
Yeah.
orbit each other somehow first? I don't know.
No,
Providing they didn't have any initial momentum, no, they would just literally move towards
straight
it.
line. Yeah, increasingly getting faster and faster the closer they got to each other.
Indeed.
It'd be a giant train wreck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
a black hole or something, or a supernova.
Well, that's another thing. Depending on how far apart they are, what force would they impact each other with, and would that create some sort of oscillation where they're
Well,
It'd be a continually accelerating force for however distant the object was from each other to start with.
right?
If you put them,
Well,
if
it'd
you
be
started
relative.
them, if you started them close to each other, they would probably just clank together. If you started them far enough away, the acceleration would start slower, but by the time it got to the bigger object, it would be
Right.
a very large boom.
Yeah, because they would build momentum.
That's right, but it wouldn't get anywhere close to the speed of light for any flat earther out there thinking,
No.
so then it could speed up to the speed of light then, and
Well, no, because then they would have to. You would have issues with their mass would have to increase.
Yep.
So
yeah,
there would be
no,
some sort of terminal velocity, I suppose. I don't know. Somebody work on that and get back to me.
I think
Oh
I
yeah,
think it'll be
I'm in the middle of
gradual.
moving. Let me do your physics project, Schrodinger.
How's the move going, Crash?
There's someone doing Cavendish
we are,
experiments live soon.
Currently waiting on my cable and power and internet will be installed tomorrow, seeing as how they had to run like 1.6 miles of lines to my house.
Uh-huh.
it's-
Okay, so
Cool.
I want to throw a winger at you. What if I told you guys?
Oh, don't do that.
I just wanted to say one more thing about the
Throw
two,
food at me.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
the marbles.
Yeah, go ahead.
As Schrodinger was saying about them approaching, if they accelerated for long enough that they could approach the speed of light. Well, of course, we were initially at least I was when I was thinking of it, was initially working using the Newtonian math, but I know that then that stops working as I approach high velocities. So I would then have to recalculate everything based on the Einsteinian model.
Well, that would
because that allows for the
that'd
relativistic effects.
That'd be
Well,
special relativity, right?
I
So
believe
if the two planets,
That
would
explains.
like,
Go ahead.
you'd have to allow for special and general, I think, because both will have effects.
I don't think the speed of light would be achievable by two planets being pulled if they was to start at one position, never mind the distance, and they was connected by a force of gravity and they were being slowly pulled together. I think the gradual, like the speed that would already have been determined from the mass and density. So by the time they collided, it would have just reached a set velocity. Do you know what I mean? Nowhere near the speed of light.
Nothing with mass can achieve light speed.
Well, no, because it'd just be light, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
No, it becomes heavier.
It'd become energy.
Light speed, the mass increases dramatically. So
it would have to.
Yeah.
The mass would have to become infinite, which means that an infinite amount of energy would be required to propel it at the speed of light.
That's why it only gets to those speeds when it's inside a black hole.
Right,
Yep.
or in a super collider where you're only achieving somewhat slower than the speed of light, even though it's near speed of light. But the amount of energy that the CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, is using to propel these particles is massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys know about LIGO, right? Obviously.
Lego Lab, Dell's version, yes.
So
yeah,
I want to go. I'm gonna visit one.
I would
maybe
love to
next
visit
month.
LIGO.
Well, good. And I want you to ask them
Which
this
one
question.
are you going to? Washington or Louisiana?
One in Washington.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So,
Nice weather there right now.
Oh, here's the thing with LIGO. Understand that the gravitational wave that they would detect is smaller than the machines are able to detect. Therefore, my question is how do you then detect it, and how do you know when it came from?
So they have two. There's one in
Yeah, that's
Washington, one
why-
in Louisiana, and if they detect something on both, they know they've detected something that's not just Earth-based.
Right, because if it's Earth-based, then it'll be on one and not the other. So that's why there's two, and there's more in the planning stages.
Okay, but again, the lowest that those machines can detect, it still isn't low enough to detect a gravitational wave. From the distance, I guess you would say.
Because reasons.
What do you mean?
So,
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying either.
okay, so they, I think it was with, I forget the name of the guy. He does a lot of science stuff. But basically, he goes to one of the LIGO labs, and they're talking about how it works. And the guy explains that the gravitational waves that they're looking for read out to blah, 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 point, blah, blah, blah. And the machines are only capable of a certain amount above that. And there was some way that he said that they figure it out, and it's not about the test. It's like their equation, and it didn't make sense to me. I probably should have that clip ready to show you guys. I don't.
Yeah, that's beyond the scope of my understanding. But did you see Physics Girl had a good video about it? She went and visited LIGO.
I just found her, so like I'm still figuring out if it's worth a watch.
Oh yeah, it is. Also, she's really easy to look at. So
yeah, well, that's the problem.
There's
Sometimes
that.
it skews.
Yeah, Sean gets distracted by pretty objects.
Yeah. Next
But,
thing you know,
the
I'm
old-
learning physics. I'm learning biology.
yeah. But Sasha, when you
Sean.
go there,
Schooling.
I've had difficulty finding pictures because I do know that on each leg of that, one of them is below ground and the other end is above ground because they had to make it straight, but the Earth curves. When you go there, can you get some pictures of that? Because I don't seem to find any.
Pictures of what?
So
Hey,
each
hang on.
leg.
Wait, Sasha, do me a favor. Take your mic about an inch away from your mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're coming very hot.
So each LIGO detector is 4 kilometers long, in a basically orthogonal from each other. But because of Earth's curvature, one end, the middle of the two legs, is in the ground basically, but the far ends are above ground because of the Earth's curvature. Because it had to be perfectly straight, but I can't find any really good pictures of it. So if you get a chance, could you take a picture of where the two legs intersect and then a picture of the far end of one of the legs?
You know, dude, that's like far apart. Like you want
4 kilometers.
Jesus.
I mean,
So Sasha, now
Hey,
what you do is say,
Sasha,
for the
when
right
they're-
price,
hey,
I
Sasha.
can take any pictures you want.
Sasha, when they are explaining how LIGO works, I want you to walk away and walk 8.2 miles to take his pictures. Please. Thank you.
And again, you need to tell Trojers for the right money, you can provide him with those images he seeks.
Tell him he owes you a ride on his boat.
It's not a boat.
It's a ship.
There's a video by Vertasium interviewing one of the team leaders for LIGO, and it was just after they finished the work, they accomplished LIGO building it, and then the same week they detected something, and the man he didn't believe. He said maybe there's something wrong with the equipment, need calibrations, and for like 2 weeks he didn't reveal or review the data. So I'll post this video in the side chat.
Yeah, I'm ignoring everyone. I'm just looking through all this crap.
okay. I just found an image that kind of shows what you were talking about with the drone shot. That kind of shows where the how it's lower.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
No one sees what you're talking about, Cliff.
Sasha just said he did.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Looking at
I just posted an image or in the chat. The call chat.
You guys are more than capable of sharing.
we're
I'm
talking
on
about
mobile.
LIGO's 2 arms. Gotcha.
Yep.
The drop
Found
for
that. Jeez.
4 kilometers, the drop is 1.25 meters.
There you go. This is
Right.
See, this one's so much better than what Sasha showed.
Something interesting about
Sure,
the
you guys.
1.2
You're having a pop at Sasha.
Huh? Well, I'm
You
just
have to
saying,
pop it,
if
Sasha,
you're
come
gonna
on.
show, show it right.
Come on, give him a break.
No, he wanted to see how it was above ground and then underground
Yeah,
and then
this-
above
no,
ground
this,
again.
This is so. Watch, man. I'm gonna show you guys right now. I'm gonna show you.
Trojers, I tagged you in a message in the side chat.
Something interesting about LIGO when it comes to that 1.25 meter drop someone mentioned. If you go there, they actually had to build a concrete support the size of about 1.25 meters at the end of the evacuated chamber to make sure that the laser light was completely straight.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm
Because
talking
otherwise it
about.
would follow the curve of the
Matter of
Earth,
fact,
wouldn't it?
Didn't
Yeah,
their
so-
first test fail because that wasn't lined up correctly?
Yes.
Yes.
And so flat earthers have some explaining to do because we don't have just one
Don't be
example
just.
of this. There's 4.
Yeah.
Because there's
No, damn
2.
it. You guys got to explain how they're able to detect a gravitational wave, which is less of a reading than their machines are even capable of reading.
They're testing the effects of that wave.
Yeah, and they need. And how are they supposed to test the effects of that wave if it's so small that their machines aren't even capable of detecting it in the first place?
Because reasons.
Oh,
Yes.
I'll get back to you when I have
Reasons.
access to my laptop
Dot-
and
dot com,
uniform code.
hashtag.
great. Now I got flat earthers and globers with that. shit.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, sir.
LIGO does virtual visits, so you can book a virtual visit for the stream where they'll take you around virtually and show you all the everything and answer your questions.
You
Oh,
see
that's
the
bad.
video
Want
right there.
me to take a CGI tour
No.
at like
No. They have a camera, like a web camera. It's
It's a real tour via camera.
a real tour
So Sean's
via
gonna
the
take a
internet.
CGI tour of
Well,
LIGO
those
with
3D
all of
cameras,
us,
I
right?
think.
This is
He's going to
be
live
awesome.
stream that. He's going to live stream the live stream to us.
Sorry.
And you can ask them the questions live. I mean, and they'll answer you. It will be a real person taking on the tour.
Oh, how much is this gonna cost?
No, I'm pretty sure it's free.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be on my live stream for free.
But if you do that, you have to ask them if Will Smith is Barack Obama.
Yeah, see, that's why if I do this, no one will be here. Because first of all, no, wait, they'll be here. Sasha, you'll be here. Cliff, you can't be here because we already know twice now you are willing to do something very childish for the humanity of everyone.
And
Yeah.
Then that means he will ask, "Hey,
when I did that, did y'all laugh?
yes,
oh,
Yes.
it was great."
Then what's the problem?
Matrix,
you
I think we have it backwards there in the chat.
do you think they'd have a problem if I asked if I could push their button that fires a laser?
See, this is why you guys wouldn't be there.
Yeah, this is a virtual tour. You could have it on your stream. I just posted the links in the side chat to where you can,
FYI, you
like-
never want to go on a scavenger hunt that ex-Marines and military have put together. Just saying.
Why?
What?
What did you find?
that's unrelated.
I went to an event for Wounded Warriors yesterday with my RC trucks.
Wait,
And
time
they
out.
hid-
Wait,
In
focus.
plain sight,
focus.
they hit a
Wait,
15-foot battleship.
in a group. That's so off
Hey?
topic. God damn it.
I'm just proving why we can't all go on vacation together.
You know, I just had a really dumb idea. How long is one of the arms of LIGO again?
4 kilometers.
75 miles.
If it were 4 kilometers, that's almost worth it to go to the facility, put a camera on a pole cart, and just roll a spirit level all the way down the damn thing to show that it's level, and then at the same time show the evacuated chamber length, and how that one has to be straight compared to level.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Sasha, are you taking notes?
No, I wasn't listening.
Oh, well, people have
shouldn't-
requests. If you're going there, you need to be taking notes. Jeez.
I wouldn't
Do you
do
think
that.
they'd let me fly my drone down the length of one of those arms?
See, again, this
Probably.
is why you're not allowed to be here when they come. When we do the virtual tour, you cannot ask questions. I'll be using the Discord for that one. I am signing up for it right now.
Cool.
Awesome.
Pete, what do you mean any men left? If we're honestly corrected, we're not going to respond violently. It's when you pull out dumb shit like Aristarchus is the reflection of a reflection of light.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
someone to. I need explanations or ideas. I don't need crap to filter through some more.
I'm still waiting on Spurs to tell me what the difference between a
Yeah,
PSA
bad
A
idea.
gauge and pressure gauge is.
Yeah,
It will
you just
never
met the biggest snake oil salesman there is. You're not going to get shit from him.
Oh, by the way, there was an Arctic. There were these two guys that travelled North Pole to South Pole, and they did it on foot. I think it took them 2 years, and they actually
not bad
recorded.
idea.
They actually recorded passing like the entire, the South Pole. So it's impossible for it to be an ice wall. Fuck knows what made that. It made. Someone just said something. It popped into my head. I was like,
I think Jeremy Clarkson had the better idea. Let's drive to the North Pole.
I think he'd
Yeah.
freeze to death.
Right.
We did. Him and James May did drive. Well, magnetic North Pole anyway.
Okay.
But they drove
So-
there. They drove then, and and the hamster took a dog team.
So it says you can have up to 15 people. So this means it's no. So
Are those slots for sale?
I'm gonna say 5 people. Type of audience, unruly.
It says 15 or more.
Shut, man. God.
Thanks, Sasha.
Dude, come on.
We have an
Kids.
agent provocateur.
Surely, just set the rules, man. You don't need to lie, bud.
Why? Why wouldn't I lie?
He lies because he can.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Because you guys forced me to.
Neil Patrice did a really good comedy sketch about why men lie. And it's there. It's really
because
funny.
we have to.
It's because we care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crashes. You
Oh,
might
God.
get. You might relate to this. So, Spurs said that in any pressurized, in any container with pressurized gas, there will be liquid at the bottom. So I'm going to take my air compressor and top it off, max pressure, flip it over so that the exhaust is at the bottom, and then release gas from it. If he's right, water should come out, correct?
All right, so I have submitted
no.
my LIGO Hansford vertical visit submittal response.
He is correct on saying that liquid under pressure will form at the bottom of the container relative to the pull of gravity.
That's why compressors have water traps.
Yep. It's also why nitrous oxide bottles have angled tubes in them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I get that. But he's, I think, misrepresenting it as if there's going to be water.
According to
It's misrepresenting
that has
everything.
pressure will have liquid at the bottom. So a pressurized water bottle will still have liquid at the bottom that'll pour out.
Yep.
Right, but a relatively minuscule amount.
All right, so you guys, now that I'm done with that, you guys ready for the next twist in this gravity talk?
Okay.
Go on then.
Yeah, as soon as I highlight Brainery and his complete takedown of Pete Shea there with the dumbest possible thing I've ever seen. Pete Shea.
Just ha 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 ha. Is he really on about what I think he's on about?
Well, he said, write down God Devil with the first, let's see what the first D reversed and then connect it to the second D. And the message jumps out when you know what two Ds coming together means. And Brainery's response was, did Pete just try to explain docking?
That's what two Ds coming together is. Yeah.
Jesus.
I thought 2Ds coming together was motorboating.
Okay, wait, guys. Sorry. So,
Seriously.
the next one, the next twist is quantum.
Enter Twilight Zone music.
Now, when I talk quantum now, the last thing I want anyone to assume or think is that any of us on this panel have a damn clue how to explain it.
How dare you?
I guarantee that.
I'm a professional.
So,
Quantum, you just add more zeros.
Okay, yeah. But here's the fun part. We can have a discussion about it because they do. So, there are numerous types of this quantum gravity, but there's a twist that I read that kind of makes it odd. So, they're ever so desperately trying to figure out quantum, and in that, they have come up with some that actually have worked. Right now, the leading one, string theory. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I just heard about string theory just recently. No clue how advanced string theory is. In the fact that it's
Don't
what?
Don't try and say that string theory is the only thing that quantum.
I did not say it was the only.
He says the best.
It is the
there's
best.
far better.
What's
There's far
right
better
now?
applications.
What's right now? Name it.
As in
Theories of gravity.
In gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, quantum mechanics also describes the how small how things interact at small scales.
Yes, but for it to then become quantum gravity, it would it would need to explain things. That's correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And string theory explains things beyond what general relativity can.
Except some of the observations haven't met, or some of the predictions haven't matched reality.
Like what?
Like I don't remember off the top of my head, but.
Are you speaking like a graviton? Anything that runs quantum needs a graviton.
Hindu philosophy will call that consciousness. That is the acting force that's behind the veil, which consciously decides where to put what and when and how at what time.
0 sense. I don't understand.
It was just something I was listening to about Hindu philosophy explaining quantum, particles appearing and disappearing and appearing when they need to. Talking about the double slit experiment, and the way he was explaining it is it's consciousness, basically.
But don't they explain it as, well, if they believe it's consciousness, then they should be probably scratching their heads a lot more because they're trying to figure out how it would work in itself, period. Like,
They say it's like a dance. It's like a pulse. It's like it's switching on and off. It's constantly. Everything's just a game of on and off, and like a rock is playing a different dance. It almost like vibrating differently, a different frequency, or something, and how at different speeds and different time scales and what have you.
yeah, but
If
see,
that's making any sense.
yeah, it makes sense. But the problem is, we need something that explains beyond general relativity, and anything that explains beyond general relativity would be considered to work. For instance, string theory works because it explains why our galaxy has a rotation like it does, because general relativity does not. How do I know? Dark matter, dark energy. Problem with string theory is dark energy, dark matter. None of that exists. That doesn't exist in its theory. But problem I see is that all stems on the fact that this hypothetical particle, the graviton, exists. Now, here, if you're starting to talk about this brings us to a whole different world. Because then we're talking about these particles. Because remember, dark matter, dark energy, as far as we are explained, they've explained it as either particles doing something that we've never seen before, or particles that we've never seen before.
So instead of looking at it as a particle, it's more of like strings of energy constituting what we believe is like a point-like particle theory.
So, to make a quick explanation for it, so it says, string theory is a theoretical framework in which the point-like particles of particle physics are replaced by one-dimensional objects called strings. It describes how these strings propagate through space, interact with each other. Thus, string theory is a theory of quantum gravity. And the layman, or the gist of what string theory does, was written down, says, the difference between string theory and other quantum gravities, or theories of quantum gravity, is that string theory still tries to unify the fundamental forces. So it's still, buoyancy, centrifugal, all the forces. It still tries to explain how those still work.
And has it though, or is it still in the garages as such?
As far as I know, they've made it get as far as the galaxy, and then it does have issues once you get past that. Because remember, it's trying to conform the forces, and the main thing about quantum is that they're looking at it to not see it as gravity as a force. So
is that why it brought up the theory of like I've heard the theory that other galaxies might have different laws.
Well, that was, I'm pretty sure that's how dark energy and dark matter are conforming things. I don't know 100%, but I mean, I do know that there are galaxies that are shaped different, galaxies that do different things. So I mean, to say that all galaxies work this way, it is kind of ludicrous. You can't really say that. We know you can't say that.
Yeah, it'd be egocentric as well, wouldn't it?
I mean, Go ahead.
I'm on base at the commissary, and I'm trying to find breadcrumbs. Do any of you know what aisle they're on?
Aisle 2.
Italian breadcrumbs.
Aisle 2.
No, I am not playing this, Schroeder. They hit a 15-foot pirate ship at an event I was at yesterday in plain sight in the middle of a pond. So God knows what you guys did with breadcrumbs at the commissary.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
What ship was it?
What
I went
boat
to
was
a
it?
Wounded Warriors
It was a
charity
boat.
event, and they hit a 15-foot model of a
boat.
pirate ship in the middle of
boat.
a pond as part of the scavenger hunt.
I could do that.
Oh, I thought you said it was a battleship.
Yeah, I thought little
I'll do
people
it
were
with a
having
rock.
war.
So, yeah, they had all kinds of shit hidden out there.
I got a BB gun. I promise you, in 3 shots, I'll sink it.
Got BB gun.
I'll
Yeah,
sink that shit.
my son has an ammo can full of gravel that he carries around so that he can shoot his slingshot whenever he wants.
I would shoot you, Dad. I would be like, "Hey, Dad, pow!"
I
What
would
you gonna
turn
do?
my paintball market up
What,
to
like,
25 rounds.
What would you do? Like, he's gonna turn around and go, "Dude, you're on YouTube blowing firecrackers off on Mom. Get out of here."
Yeah, he's going to shoot me one day.
Oh,
It's going to be on the news.
At least you know
Gonna
it's
be on
coming.
YouTube. Be like, son, there's a new rite of passage in our family. You must do all stupid shit on Sean's channel. So if you want to do something, call him. He'll start a live stream and record it, and then you're good to go.
Sean's going to get a message going, I want to hide airbags underneath Dad's seat in the truck.
Oh, that'd be so. Oh, please. I mean, I think I've done a lot in life that I deserve this. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Now, here's the thing. The reason I'm bringing up the fact that there is these different ideas, because we probably wouldn't even have time to even get into loop quantum gravity or
No, we're not going to be able to
modified
do that.
Newtonian or how about entropic gravity? Okay, you don't want to do it. No, you don't want to talk about entropic gravity, huh?
We all still have training wheels on. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Oh, I know. But that's the best part, because to understand why these things happen, you gotta dabble in all these things that you don't understand, because you didn't understand it before. You gotta dabble in them to start understanding them, right?
Well, we can't just pretend to be JM Truth and act like we're experts.
Oh, exactly. That's the best part, because here you can be wrong, because guess what? You'll hear about it later. But guess what? You'll know what you got wrong.
Especially if you are familiar with George, he will definitely come find you and tell you where you're wrong.
But here's the best part.
Well,
For me,
unless Shawn Hufford gets to you first.
well, see, that's their problem, not mine. Because here's the thing, and just the thought, this whole gravity situation that's been going on, from what I knew when I even became a Glober to now about gravity, is so far from where it was in the beginning, because I keep pushing myself to understand shit I don't know. For instance, I had no idea string theory was actually a competing theory that was working in certain situations. But at that point, then you got to stop talking about dark energy, dark matter, because string theory doesn't want to talk about it. Put it this way, there's about 5 competing gravity theories right now. And again, Riley, they're not throwing anything out. Nothing stops working. It's just to that point. Like, for instance, how gravity works up until we can't explain how the galaxy rotates. So now they're looking for alternative ways to explain that. But guess what? Even string theory, loop quantum gravity, it doesn't matter. It all has to explain gravity from the surface of the Earth to the galaxy the way it is explained, and another way around it not being a force, but explained as a force. You see how that works? General relativity doesn't look at it as a force, but it has to be a force for general relativity to exist. And ever since I told him I had a better understanding of this, and I was ready for that conversation, guess how many times Riley has messaged me?
0.
Exactly. But hey,
And that also kicks it in the teeth Pete Shea's notion that we're all in league with each other and we're all just echoing each other.
oh no, I'm the last one to echo. I like being different from everyone else. I like to
Echoing
argue.
each other.
I think I've got totally different beliefs, man. Like,
Hmm?
I think the only one thing we can all agree on is that the majority of us think the Earth is a ball, and we have space, and that there's galaxies, and
Yes.
and there's gravity and shit. I think that's the only consensus, really, upon a few other things.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's one of the things that I realized, and I tried. I was trying to get Riley to realize this because he makes a fool of himself when this whole started. Again, I understand that general relativity is the consistent. The majority agrees. The majority of scientists agree that gravity is not a force. It's space-time. You know, it's curvature of space-time, general relativity. But here's the thing. Again, and it's been explained, you just decide you don't want to hear it. And this goes to anyone who denies gravity. Newton's force it's real. It's used. It's what I used, or what I use. So as far as I'm concerned, gravity is a force. Period.
Yep.
And anyone who tells me different, I will ask you to explain general relativity and explain to me how that matter and that mass.
Just like to add, it's
Unicorn parts and reasons.
Yeah, well, guess what? That doesn't work for Flat Earth. It's not going to work for Globe either. I want answers, damn it. And if you don't have them, find me someone who does.
Well, Shawn, you know what's happening tomorrow afternoon?
Showed you're online.
I'm so confused.
Riley is going to be
what?
debating George on gravity.
Really?
Oh yeah. And
Yes.
Shawn Hawkins is taking on that Matthias the Walking, whatever the hell his name is.
Oh, what? Zero
Where's
to
this
triggered in
happening
2
at?
seconds flat.
That guy's a lunatic.
Where's
Yes.
this
On
happening?
Jose.
What,
Jose.
you mean Riley? Riley and George whatever. I can never pronounce this. They will be debating on Jose's channel tomorrow.
Is it gravity or gravity as a
Yes,
force?
it's gravity. No, it's gravity. So you know what's going to happen. George is going to explain it in sensible, cogent terms, and Riley's going to be his usual. I want citations. I want semantics. And I quote, I've seen the evidence and I reject it.
You want to know what the problem with that is?
Well, apart from it, will be a complete
basically
and utter
what you
waste of
said,
time.
George, and I've said this so many times, and everyone, I guess, especially like a Rumpus or a George, probably just blows me off because who the fuck am I? But they get so deep into detail about what they're explaining that anybody even interested in the conversation still goes to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Regardless of whether or not who you're debating or who's listening is listening, everyone else has to understand it too. Not
Right.
everyone has that
You
same
can't lose
level.
your audience.
Exactly. So when you go into 15 steps of something, you lose a lot of people. And it's hard for, and I only know that because it's hard for me to, like, if you take 15 minutes to explain something and you talk about 3 or 4 different things in that 15-minute explanation, first of all, my notes look like shit because it's out of order. You're ranting, and again, I can't keep up with 15 minutes of information all at once and it be, understandable. You need to just break something down, very simple, and then you start going into your explanations that can be as detailed as you want because people will have a better understanding of what you're even trying to say.
Yeah.
They rather just go on these long rants about, let me tell you how it works. Well, we don't know how it works. We may need to stop you halfway into it and ask questions. I know I need to, and I know it frustrates people when I do it, but that's because everyone probably wants to stop and ask that question when I do.
I think for people who do like ramble a lot, and go off incoherently, I think they should try and write a thesis around their own theory, and then try and reiterate that thesis. That might help them a little bit better instead of just rambling and gerbil, not making sense.
Well, see,
Because like we're all guilty of it.
well, that's
I mean,
why I
I do
like
it.
Sasha's idea too, because that also gives the opportunity to add in a Q&A where the people that are watching can ask questions before the next debate, and then those questions that everyone wants to ask but are never asked, or something that's said that's never addressed, gets to be. Because I hear that a lot. I heard Spurs talking about satellites, and I hear Riley talking about general relativity. Like, don't you guys understand? Like, when he talks about how it's not a force, he's conceding to the fact that gravity is gravity.
Whoa! What's the screaming, man?
Yes.
Someone being killed.
Who's got that background?
Schrodinger.
Why are there screaming children in the commissary?
There's a lot
Because
of screaming.
Schrodinger's
There's a
there.
lot of screaming children at the commissary. Let me tell you right now. Anyway,
You just read the comment section.
but it's
So he
like,
just dropped another, firecracker in the middle of the aisle.
yeah, but he won't do that there. He'll be shot. But the realization is that, I lost track now. What was I saying?
I wish I would have had video working yesterday because I dropped one down the stink pipe of a porta potty while my buddy was in there.
Oh,
That doesn't help me remember what I was trying to say.
You were talking about.
lengthy
You're
explanations.
talking about.
and-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 'cause I was on a lengthy explanation.
Yes, you. Excuse me, sir. You're monologuing.
Yeah, but
Don't you slate
I
James's
purposely
comment.
do now. But no, but it's really important that people understand, and even worse, or even better, for the reason why you want to simplify it, caveman it, for so to speak, is that's what fundamentally destroys his arguments. When you go into these long rants, you give him so much more to dismantle. Keep it short, explain the simple, and then get into it when you need to.
I
I'd
agree.
like to give an example.
Hmm?
I'd like to give an example of how to sort out some issue, like for example the vacuum next to pressure. Some people will, when they explain this, they will go about entropy, gravity, and stuff like that. But I would explain it in a simple way. At 35 kilometers, the atmospheric pressure is 0.001 of the atmospheric pressure at sea level. So what happens when we go more higher? And this information, I got it from researching, looking at balloon that they carry barometer on board. So that's it. It keeps dropping. At some point, it will be virtually zero, aka vacuum. And that would apply even on a flat Earth. If the Earth is flat, this is what we observe. It's nothing technical.
Yeah, the basic observations are clearly ignored, and that's again why I kind of started veering away from certain people. Certain people I see, if you're not going to bring anything to this discussion, what do I need you here for?
That's the other thing. They're talking about vacuum gauges somewhere the other day. That gauge is reading nothing but a pressure difference.
Yeah.
Not reading an absolute vacuum. It's just a difference in pressure from whatever the outside pressure is on it.
Yeah, which is one of the major reasons why his example of blood being at, what do you say, like 2.6 psi?
Yeah.
That's 2.6 psi above atmospheric pressure,
Yeah,
which is
so
why
it's 16
which is why you can feel a carotid, which is why you can actually feel pulses, is because the elastic nature and the pressure being above atmospheric pressure, there's a pulse of blood greater than atmospheric pressure that expands a vessel and then it contracts again to it. That's how it works. I don't understand what's wrong with that thought process in his head.
I don't either. The other thing they confuse is fluid pressure versus air pressure, which is entirely different. Because the only reason you have pressure when you start pumping a fluid is due to resistance of that fluid moving through whatever you're trying to shove it through.
Yep. And even those gauges
fluid.
are generally reading gauge and not absolute.
Well, isn't that's also like where the whole relative density comes into play, right? Fluid dynamics and all that crap.
Well, no. The problem with relative density is you are literally comparing the density of one liquid or solid to the density of something else. That's all it is.
The gravity versus the buoyancy, basically.
No, it's just saying it's generally the benchmark is water at sea level at 10 degrees C. That has a relative density of 1.
Yeah,
Then you go to something like seawater that can have a relative density of 2. And that's literally all that relative density is. That's why it should be called specific gravity.
There you go.
Yep.
I can't believe he used that. And I honestly thought that was new. I go into his videos and like he's made like a career of saying that.
Well, first tried to say that the atmospheric pressure was in layers like a density column.
Anyone who's gone to beer festivals, particularly over here in the UK, will be very familiar with the term specific gravity, because when you go to a beer festival, they list all the beers and they generally have the strongest beer first, and that generally means that the specific gravity of that beer is the highest. So they list it in order of specific gravity.
What? Say it again.
I used to brew wine at home.
Yeah.
I know all about specific gravity.
Yes. If you go to a beer festival and they have lots and lots of different beers for you to try, and generally you can only get half a pint at the time because they're so bloody strong, they will hand you a list and say, right, here are the beers that are available in at this festival today. And they will list them in order of specific gravity. And the higher the specific gravity, generally, the stronger the drink, the stronger the beer. So you go to any beer festival and you will see the first beer named at the top, number 1, whatever it's called, Third Stanton's Old Perpendicular or whatever, will have a specific gravity of something. You know, it will be, I can't remember what the beers are now, but you'll see that number get lower and lower and lower as the beers get weaker and weaker and weaker. And all it's doing is
8 for beer,
something like that. But all they're doing is comparing the beer to water, and that's all it is. It's just a ratio between your sort of control substance, which is generally water, and anything else. That's all it is.
All right, gentlemen, I've got to take off for a while, so you guys have a good one. Sean, it was fun being here.
Have a good one, sir.
Crash.
Catch you later, Crash.
Crash.
Finish moving in so we can have more Hangouts, Crashes.
I should be, my cable and internet should be installed tomorrow, so I'm waiting on the interwebs company at the moment. Then I'll be back up doing something. I have something in the works.
Cool.
Crash, can you put your channel link in the chat because I want to talk to you.
I'm not even on my YouTube chat, but you can find me through John's Discord.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, gotta go too. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you, Sean.
Have a good one, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
catch you
finishing
later.
up here at the commissary. Does anybody need anything?
Yeah. I need some MREs. Thank you.
I need some Kool-Aid.
If you can grab me some old sea rations, just throw them anywhere.
Some sea, from a boat.
No. I do have a closet full of MREs just in case the apocalypse happens.
Oh, did anyone here listen to the recording of the British oil tanker that got captured by Iran?
No, I've not heard that yet.
It's on the BBC YouTube channel. It's like a 3-minute recording of the warship interacting with them and reminding them that they're in international waters.
Do you know that you're doing a very good impression of Sean Bean at the moment?
Me?
Yes.
Sean Bean, remind me who it is. Oh, Sean Bean. And why is that?
I don't know. You're just sounding a lot like Sean Bean tonight. I don't know why, but you are. Which is cool.
It's a beanie, yeah.
Who?
Okay.
Who? Just about every program and every film he's ever been in, he gets killed. Game of Thrones season 1, Stark.
James Bond, I believe.
He was in GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, yeah.
The only thing he's never been killed in are the Sharps programs.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Everything else he's been in, and it is the running joke, everything else he appears in, at some point in the film or the TV series or whatever it is, he will get killed.
Right, so I should be watching my back then, really.
But you do. I know the exception to that rule. I watched what did I watch again last night? The Martian.
Martian.
And Sean Bean's in that briefly, and you sound just like he did in the film.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
No, it's a good voice to sound like, I guess.
But thank you, sir. Thank you indeed.
I'm not sure what's happening right now. kind of figured it out.
Oh,
A bit of bromance going
have we
on
bored
right
them all?
Yeah,
this is how us Britons communicate. Yeah, some tea and a compliment. Yes, sir,
Yeah.
indeed.
Oh, it could be worse. You could sound like Sean Connery, you know.
Is that
Sean
where?
Connery
Wait, is
here,
that
don't
where the
direct world
cream
of
for
punch.
the tea for the? Never mind.
The name's Bond, James Bond.
Guys,
shut up,
are
shut up,
so in
fuckface.
love with that. You're so happy
Come
someone
on,
did
Bond.
something like, yeah, we got James Bond.
Show
but
me money, Penny.
we have Tom Cruise. The short guy does more.
Yeah, they are Scientologist.
Yes.
Who was always running away from his own thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's a great actor.
Well, that's because he doesn't know who he is. He's
Let's hear someone from the UK scream, "Show me the money," as well as he does.
I can't do Tom Cruise.
I can't do Tom Cruise.
There you go.
But I can say it very nicely and poshly. Oh yes,
God.
please show me the money.
You can try. That was
Other
just
than
weird.
Top Gun,
It's just
It's
really
weird,
like
I know.
you're making it
Nothing.
really uncomfortable in here.
All right, mate. Show me your money, mate.
I'm not sure what's
Cool,
happening.
blimey, governor.
God blimey.
God
All right,
blimey,
governor. Just gonna run up the old apple and pear.
I got a question about that. Why do y'all call each other governor?
We don't. It's an old an old thing, and it was just mainly around the London
Yeah.
province of Britain.
Is that sort of like when you say to somebody like, "Hey, boss," when they're not your boss? It's just like you're saying that.
It was more directed at people who were possibly sort of higher up the social chain or something
Respect.
like that. Yeah, a bit of respect. All right, governor.
It's like if you
Because
was
he's the governor, you know.
It's like saying yes, sir. You know.
Yeah.
If you was
Okay, I get it.
You're showing respect, I guess.
If
is what-
somebody's in charge of an organisation or something, they are generally the governor.
Like a spit shine shoer who's cleaning your shoes. It's all right, governor.
All right, gov.
All
Yeah.
right, gov.
Oh, Sean, if you're interested, Pete wants to come in because he was confused, thinking maybe y'all had a falling out or something.
Oh, absolutely not. I said in the chat, it's very common here, and I kind of
I was
wanted to
thinking
keep
earlier.
it that way.
You
And-
could have
thinking
stopped.
earlier,
You could have
I'd like
stopped that. Pete is confused. You could have just stopped there.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
here's the thing. I made it clear. It's nice and calm in here.
It's a safe space.
The second Pete gets here, I know what's going to happen. He's going to laugh a lot. He's going to cut people off and want to rant.
Yeah.
Um,
And just
I would-
explain everything by saying Aristarchus.
yeah. And
I was thinking earlier. I'd like to like have a one-on-one with Pete, you know, and try and understand like without any animosity or anything. Just understand, try and grasp.
I tried that. I
Yeah.
tried that. It's on Channel Q's channel,
What?
and it doesn't work.
Wait. It depends. Are you trying to convince Pete that he lives on a globe, or are you just trying to hear what Pete thinks?
Yes, I want to try and articulate it so I can understand it, and then articulate it back and try and understand where it's coming from, because he rambles a lot, you see, and I want to know if he can like boil it down linearly and try and explain the point, because there's some interesting stuff he does talk about that does spark my curiosity.
Okay.
But then again, I'm very inquisitive, so
Okay, here's the thing. Oh, so am I. So I've had a 2-hour session with Pete on my stream. I don't remember if it was on this one or the Truth Army Soldier one. I don't remember. But I gave him
Might have been Truth. I think it was Truth Army, wasn't it?
I think so. It's
I
called
think
the Dodo Theory, though. It was good. I actually enjoyed it. Pete's not that bad if you let him just go. Especially on
Yeah, I
that
had a nice
topic.
talk with him, but it led to nothing.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You were trying to convince Pete that he lives on a globe. I was just trying to hear what Pete thinks the world how the world works. And when
when he jumps in
when,
here,
when
and he
you come
feels
at
that.
Pete that in those two different ways, you're gonna get two different Petes. And that's the Pete I have no problem with. I have no problem with Pete. Problem is I can only do so much of the riling up and taking over the panel. I mean,
Right.
I already have to control myself from doing that, so I can't
Right.
can't do it both of us.
Did any of you hear Shannon Q talk to Russian vids?
No, I don't really listen to them too much. And Russian vids, as far as I'm concerned, is just grasping for straws to stay relevant. He can't.
Oh, I know.
He doesn't get
Yeah.
along with any flat earthers anymore.
Yeah, Shannon Q just wanted to understand the mind of a flat earther.
Oh, that was a beautiful interview.
It was great because she was just saying, "Why do you think that?" Like, and asking really relevant questions of him.
Well, you
And
want to
he
know what
was
ruined
just
it?
doing, Russian vids like responses.
Here's the problem. So, I watched. I saw who Shannon Q was. She's a very attractive woman. Then I found out that she's dating that one dude.
Apologia?
Yeah, and it just ruined it.
I don't think she is anymore.
I don't care. It already ruined it.
What?
I don't.
When did that happen? That would have been recent.
I could be speaking. I could be mistaken, but I don't think that's a thing anymore.
It doesn't really matter. It's not like anybody would have a chance. Anyway, yeah, I just can't. I tried listening to them, and it's just I don't get enough. Like they're too smart to explain it easily.
Right. She's a very bright woman.
Oh yeah, definitely. But there's some topics that they have, and I guess I'm nobody, but like when they have certain topics and they talk, it's like wanting to pull teeth. And I get it's probably the same way here. I talk about gravity a lot. I rant a lot. I'm not teaching anyone really much.
No, you're not bad, dude. I could listen for days, man. If I didn't have to be up early and stuff, I could just listen to people ranting about the ideas, because it's coming from intellectual people who have not like distracted with everyday life, who are actually thinking out about these things and not just getting on with life, and that's very attractive. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the main thing is that you got to realize
we're all in the same boat. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing, and I'm surprised more people don't talk about this. Like, forget the flat Earth part, because obviously that's funny. Anyway, but again, I mean, for the past how many days now, I haven't had any flat earthers on my panel, but the conversation has rolled on. We're still talking about science.
I was going to ask you about that, actually. I've got a friend I mentioned who's a tattoo artist who lives in this town I live in. He's a flat earther. I was going to ask if I could bring him on one day if he's up for it. He's never really done out like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring him on.
Here it'll be somewhere where it'd be respectful, and
he's very passive. Yeah, he's very passive, and he's a bit very intricate with his words and like belief. He just says, "I don't believe the Earth's like I know it's like because I don't believe in the word belief," kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But he's not argumentative. He's very passive. He's a down to earth guy, but he's just as inquisitive as us lot. But
that's the perfect person to come on then.
Exactly. Because he's got his own ideas.
Yeah, what I'll do is tell me when. I'll have a small panel. And again, it's not going to be a throw.
Well, what I'll do, I'll talk to him first, and then I'll invite him to the Discord, and then you can talk to him, like us three or something.
Yeah.
So you can meet him in that. Do you know what I mean?
And that's the
I
thing.
promise to not bring firecrackers.
Oh, please do. I'm going to be starting to shift everything to the Discord. It is safer. It's better. Period. It's just I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous because it's new.
Change is good, dude.
But I just figured out the Hangouts, and realistically, I can share this link. And I figured out the other day the best way of fixing that issue with people is because realistically, I have everyone on the panel that is probably going to be on the panel, and anyone who's already been here can come in and out as they please. But the second all that happens, all I got to do is make a new one and share the link here, and everyone just goes over there, and he can't do anything anymore.
Yes,
Yeah, well,
he's
you
fucking
say,
with Jose as well. He's doing the same thing to Jose.
Oh, we're ding ding ding. I
Oh,
think.
yeah. The end of Jose's stream today, he tried to come in, I don't know, a dozen times within a minute. It was just ping, 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 and like Jose said, yeah, fuck off.
I messaged him how to do it. I think I heard him say he did it. I don't remember, but it's actually easy because all you got to. I mean, I have one already set up right now for no reason, just there. Like all I gotta do is share the link and then join it, and it's ready. It's faster than the other one. When if I used to get sniped from the other ones, I can do it in 30 seconds. I can do this one in 3 seconds. I can have the link to you guys in 4.
Yeah.
I'd love to get in PMAR's
Quit
mind.
bragging.
Like, is it just that he wants to be a shit stirrer, or like what is his motivation?
Look,
He
in
just
his
wants
own words,
everybody to hate him?
Relevance.
in his own words, he's a sociopath.
Who's that?
P. Mars.
He has to be
He's a
relevant.
sociopath.
If he's not relevant,
I think he said that himself before. Yeah, by
Yeah, he said that before. He said he has been told by his doctor that he is a sociopath.
Maybe he should get help.
yeah,
Well-
but that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he is. I
I
think he
doubt
mentioned.
it. No, here's the problem. He's relevant here, and it's not us that makes him relevant. It's the trolls that think it's funny how he stirs shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically,
He's got too much hate in his heart, and he just wants to troll and just piss people off and
Right.
get
Or-
reaction.
He
out
just
of it.
wants the
Still
attention,
got that
doesn't he?
childish
here's some
mentality.
other reality to it.
Poke the bear.
Some people are just fucking assholes. I'm
Right.
sorry,
But the
Sasha,
things-
but that's
The
the way
things
it
he
is.
says would get his
Yeah.
ass kicked in any city in the world.
Oh, you have no. Ooh. Okay.
Well, they're the kind of people that walk up to people and like cause the fight in the first place, and then you've got the respectable guy that does nothing to begin with, and then has to fucking put him on his arse, and then he cries victim.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You've got a lot of people like that in the world today, fucking victim seekers,
I wish you would.
Unfortunately.
virtual
I didn't say
seekers.
that.
I mean,
loud,
he
but I meant
he
it.
could get his ass kicked in a bar in Canada.
And he speaks to people down in
France.
Britain. Yeah.
No. I promise you, there's not been a day in his life he's ever talked to someone like that face to face. Ever.
Yeah.
Probably
How
his
do I know?
family.
I don't know, because people who have been in altercations, period, understand you don't talk to people like that. Person.
Unless you want your job broken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's really scary is when someone decides to find his ass because he acted too stupid, too quick. Be the wrong person. That's gonna be some funny shit.
And you can look at him and tell he doesn't ride that bike that's in the background when he's talking.
Never. But here,
He hates
whoa,
it. He hates
whoa,
it.
guys,
Mama.
guys. We're doing what he wants. Fuck him.
Talking
True.
about him.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Voldemort.
Gravity.
We do not
Let's get
mention.
back to this wonderful thing that we call gravity.
Well, I kind of wish it didn't exist because I'm weighing more. You know, I'm just not going anywhere.
Now,
I'm trying to lose this.
here's my favorite part about this. When I start talking past general relativity, even though I don't know shit, we are all on the same level. Ha 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 ha.
We're woke as fuck, as Q would put it.
Well, here's the thing. I fully agree. In 20 years, gravity as we know it will be explained differently.
I thought
Of
that
course.
a lot of different
Yeah.
things will be explained differently in 20 years, man.
Right.
Like the
Yeah,
advance-
but gravity will still be gravity.
Oh yeah, and the Earth will still be a ball.
Yeah,
If it's
nothing will
destroyed.
change. There will be another explanation, but Newtonian physics will still work.
Oh, exactly. But
Yeah.
to,
Well,
to a certain point.
Sean,
Yeah.
have you been to khanacademy.com?
Yes.
That they do some of the best work explaining things in like Barney style.
Okay, so here's the thing. I like Kern Academy. So like say I'm looking at something and I'm trying to figure it out. For instance, I used it when I was trying to figure out thermodynamics.
Yep.
It's really good when I need a diagram to explain something to me. Or like if you guys looked at my notes, I'll write a couple paragraphs about something, but under that I always even make a diagram that I imagine it to be.
Oh yeah, mate.
So-
I when I listen to stuff, I have to repeat. Sometimes I have to go back 10 times.
I'm at least
to-
2 or 3 times, and then
Yeah.
I
just
make
to grasp
these
it,
little.
and then you chuckle.
Yeah.
You chuckle to yourself, don't you? When you
Well, yeah, because I make these little doodles, and examples is what I call them, and then it explains it better for me. And Kern's really good for that. The problem is that if I'm trying to figure an answer out inside a theory like thermodynamics. I'm trying to figure out exactly how entropy works. I know, but if I have to then listen to the whole thing while I'm trying to watch it, and it doesn't work for me. So I can only watch it if it's something I just need the example of, and then I can move on to my other methods. Because I don't like videos are real easy to visualize something, but I need it broken down more than a video can do for me.
Yeah. Well, I find it in my personal opinion, my subjective opinion, that when people are self-taught, they learn a lot better than they would have been in an institution, for example, because it's something you find yourself comfortable in that situation, and it's something you end up enjoying doing. So you put your more effort and more concentration, more focus into it.
Yeah, and you're invested in it.
Yes.
Oh, everyone pour one out for Pete Shea. He says he's leaving and never coming back.
How many times has he said that?
Pete, I'm going to have a one-on-one with you one day, dude. To get the bottom down of this Aristarchus is revealed stuff. I think it conflates a lot of philosophy with religious ideologies a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Bye, Pete. I mean, here's the thing. I was very reluctant. I didn't want to send you the link, and I think it's a good idea. I don't. I'm sorry. I've been sitting here going, do I want to send him this link? And then I realized right away, no. I like how it's been again. I don't need flat earthers here. I will survive.
He's a conversation killer.
He's a hangout killer.
Yeah.
I'll have you on when no one has anything to say, and I have something to do, and that you can just do your little rants, and everyone get irritated, and I can laugh in the background. Only time I really even like him here is when he irritates people, and it makes me laugh.
There are flat earthers that wouldn't mind being on here, and then there's Pete and Slick.
Oh yeah, they just don't want to be on here with them. There's a few flat earthers that would come on. There are people that they have issues with that are not here right now. I just wanted to make sure.
I could hear you checking.
They won't be on when a lot of different people are here. But I've already told them I don't care. Chris Berry, he likes to do these little. He lurks. Okay, Chris Berry's here. He just doesn't want us to know he's here. How do I know? Because anytime something goes wrong, Chris Berry's ready to jump in the chat and say something real quick.
Yep.
So yeah, it's weird. I know they're there. They already came through. Seek and Find, he's already been here. Seek and Find, I'm not interested in hearing his voice ever again, unless he has some answers for me. Because all he ever has done is ask questions, and I need to know if he even understands anything that's been said to him here. And if not, this is not the place for him.
Chris Berry's one of those angry flat earthers too.
Oh yes.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
he goes angry very
everything's
quickly,
wrong.
doesn't
He
he?
knows it all.
Yes.
Problem.
Didn't he actually say that? What's your area of expertise? He said everything.
Everything, yes.
He did indeed say everything, and then retracted it afterwards when we said, "Hey, you said everything." No, I didn't. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. He didn't so much retract it. He said that he didn't say it.
Yeah. Just flat out lied because he did. We all heard him. What's your area of expertise? Well, everything. And we all sort of went, really?
And he's like, nope, I didn't say that. Yeah, bitch, you did.
Yeah, he did. Everybody else in the hangout heard him. Yeah.
It's sort of like when Spurkismo said that that he sent that he didn't know those 11 frames were taken out of that video.
Oh god.
Bollocks.
And then a day or two later he said that he sent he was using the original. And it's like both those things can't be true.
Well, when he first presented it in Jose's hangout, and I immediately asked him, whose video is this? And he said, oh, it's Red's. I said, no, this that you're showing now is not Red's original video.
Said, yeah, no,
yes, it is.
Yeah,
and I said, no, it's not, because there's additional text put on it. This is not Red's video. Somebody else has had a go at it.
You want to hear something
and eventually
funny,
he said, he admitted it wasn't.
You want to hear something funny? He knew it. because again, I have
Of
to
course
hear
he
this.
knew it.
I
Yeah.
have to hear this script 1,000 times before he comes to the public with it. First of all, the video he came out with actually refuted everything that he was saying if you played it through, and the citation that he used did the same if read all the way through, and he didn't read it. And on Discord, we smashed him about it, and he still came up and started talking about it like this. That's what's insane.
And he has no shame because he still shows his face.
You know that whole sticky air thing I keep bringing up?
Yeah.
He made that up.
Yeah, but he still shows up as if anybody else would just slink away in shame.
Well, he did this afternoon a couple of times.
I actually brought something up to him not terribly long ago in Discord, which was it's like show me a vacuum in nature. And so, well, since there's no absolute vacuum, there is relative vacuums, and every single person who has a chest cavity has a relative vacuum.
Yeah, otherwise you can't breathe.
Correct.
Yep.
What? Say again?
Every person has a relative vacuum. The interpleural space, compared to the outside atmosphere, it's about -4. It's about -4 millimeters of mercury difference.
Dude, you are speaking gibberish right now.
You inflate your lungs, and that draws air into your lungs. That's how you breathe.
The way you breathe is your diaphragm goes down, your chest wall goes out. It increases the volume in between your lungs and the wall of your chest, creating an additional vacuum, and that causes your lungs to increase in volume to fill the void, and that draws air into your lungs.
There's a pressure differential.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Oh,
Which is
Brian,
what
I got a question for you because I've always heard this, and I don't know if it's true. If you're standing upright and you inhaled pure carbon dioxide, unless you did a handstand, basically, you would asphyxiate because you cannot exhale carbon dioxide if it's filling your lungs. Is that anywhere close to true?
Why couldn't you exhale it?
It's heavier than oxygen. You would be able to. It would just be harder because if you saturated your lungs with CO2, you really actually don't circulate out every single amount of it when you breathe. Your tidal volume is actually a lot less than the absolute volume of your lungs.
Brian, why are oxygen bars so wonderful?
Because
you get a ton of oxygen.
Yeah. Oxygen in a pure form can actually be poisonous, and it can give you euphoric effects because you're really not designed to take it in its full amount.
It's also combustible.
I took it.
Yes, it is.
It's dangerous stuff in high volumes and quantities, isn't it? Oxygen. It's nasty stuff. It can be.
Really?
It can be.
An hour of it is wonderful.
Helps us.
An hour.
It'll get rid of a hangover.
I was about to say, somebody beat me to it. It is wonderful for a hangover.
Oh yeah,
the Holy Grail in Vegas.
Yeah, because aircraft use, but at least our jets use liquid oxygen to give. Yeah. So a lot of young sailors in the mornings, you'll see them sneak out to an aircraft and breathe.
Alright, I think I'm back. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if you guys can hear me. I have no clue what the hell just happened. Hang on. See if I can get back in the call. All right, I am back on. I have no idea what just happened. Let me see if I can get back in there. Hang on. I think I can.
Shown it. Bing. That's easy.
I'm back.
He's back. I wonder where you went.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, I lost. I'm on an Ethernet cord, but somehow I lost internet. It was weird.
Oh.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it can happen, I'll do it.
If it can go wrong, yeah.
I mean, even someone as simple as a
I can figure out Discord.
low-level meteorologist can talk to you about pressure and how that affects weather. So the notion that atmospheric pressure is not a thing is just idiotic.
Well, they have to go down that road. They have to say there's no such thing as atmospheric pressure, because if they say it is, then they've got to admit there's either to some sort of container, according to them, right? And they can't allow gravity to be the container. So that's where the whole thing starts. And I'm about to put out another video slapping the shit out of QE again.
Oh, good-o. That's what we like to see.
That's stupid fuck. That's been their contention, right? You can't have pressure without a container. You can't have pressure without having something to press upon. Okay, that's like saying you can't have bubble gum without bubble gum. All right, I got it. Yeah. I understand. Pressure is force over an area. True. If there's no particular area involved, then there will be no pressure. Gotcha. Understand.
Well, QE is not just stupid. He's angry.
Yeah, he's angry and stupid. I don't know if he's angry because he's stupid or stupid because I don't know. But so I've got a challenge for them. They claim that you have to have a container to have pressure, but they've beat the shit out of me about using an open pipe to demonstrate pressure. And they claim the open pipe's a container, or an open fish tank is a container.
The thing is, that's
right?
already a goalpost shift, because they initially stated an enclosed container.
Yeah. Yes. So here's my deal. I'm saying in this video, that's fine. Let's go on. Let's play your game for a minute. I'm going to get a mercury barometer. I'm going to set it on my workbench, and it's going to read atmospheric pressure, whether you like it or not. It does. But just to satisfy you, I'm going to put it inside an open top container. Now you've got an atmosphere inside a container. Wow. And I bet you the atmospheric pressure will be the same. But we can prove that it's there. All we have to do is put a lid on it and pump a vacuum. And that manometer, or that barometer, is going to show the mercury column collapse all the way down into the bottom. And I'm offering to cover any bet anybody can make that is wrong. I guarantee you that is right. God damn it.
Well, what is Spur's quibble with Mercury? He doesn't seem to think that Mercury is valid as a medium.
Because it debunks his bullshit.
He was trying to claim that it freezes, and it does at about negative 40 degrees centigrade.
His knowledge is as far as Wikipedia will take him.
Not even that far, I don't think. I think his problem with mercury was when you use mercury in a barometer. Because he's saying, oh, if it's mercury in there, it's not measuring pressure, it's measuring temperature. I think that's what he was getting at, but I was having trouble listening to him, to be honest.
Well, Brian knows as well as any of us that mercury has been used in medicine for years and years and years.
Oh, God, yes.
To measure body temp.
Yeah. So I understand what he's saying, but it's still a different mechanism.
Yeah. Of course it is. But, it's all about obfuscation, confusion, misrepresentation. Yeah, if you can if you do anything like that and try and even vaguely indicate something else other than what's accepted, then he thinks he's onto a winner. And that will attract people's attention. Because they will listen to him and think, oh, yeah, maybe he's got something there. Maybe the barometer isn't reading pressure. Maybe it is reading temperature. I don't know how many people it actually catches, but I'm sure it probably gets one or two.
Well, the experiment I just described would rule that out. All you got to do is pump the air out of it and watch the mercury drop.
Right, and temperature does tend to drop as you increase altitude, but not relative to the barometric pressure.
No,
they're not linear.
He tried to claim the balloon and burst because of temperature, because the rubber got cold. But I show him a high altitude balloon at 60,000 feet. It's about 60, almost 70 degrees below zero Fahrenheit.
Right,
Yet
and
by
there
the
was
time it
the
gets up to
one.
115 degrees, it's back to 15 or 17 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
There was
So
the one
why
with
did it burst
I-
when it got warmer?
Yeah, it burst
Yeah.
after it got warmer.
Yeah.
Right, and there was the one with I think it was Simon Dan. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could have been somebody else, but had a balloon and then drove up a mountain, and the balloon expanded. And he said,
was that Sly Sparkane did that?
"Oh,
in his
that's
car.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Sly." And he said, "Well, that's because the temperature changed." But no, because it was inside the cabin of his car.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the temperature didn't change. The barometric pressure changed.
The problem is that pressure and temperature are linked very closely together, and there's no two ways around that. Temperature and pressure are distinct bedfellows. If you change one, you change the other.
Well,
But
yeah.
It's
Boyle's law.
Yeah, but if you're gaining altitude, you are losing pressure, and therefore it generally gets colder. It's not the other way round. But of course, he'll just argue, "Oh well, look, the temperature's dropping." Yes, but why is the temperature dropping? It's because you're losing air pressure. Why do you think it's so difficult to breathe and it's so fucking cold at the top of Mount Everest? It's not difficult to breathe because it's cold. It's difficult to breathe because there's no bloody air up there. It's very simple.
For reasons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Reasons. Yeah.
You can actually debunk that pretty easy by going to a plasma center and walking into their freezers. Their freezers run about -40 Celsius, and if you're well enough,
that's cold.
Yeah, if you're well enough backed up though, and he wants to say that the temperature difference is what causes people not be able to breathe well. Put someone in there for 15 minutes, throw a pulse ox on them, a pulse oximeter, and you'll find out that they've still got 100% blood oxygen content, and compared to Mount Everest where it's the same temperature.
Yes,
they have lower pulse ox because there's less air for them to breathe.
That's right. That's it. I mean, I can't remember what the actual atmospheric pressure is at the peak of Mount Everest, but it's very, very much lower than we have down at sea level. I mean,
it's about 16%.
Yeah, I mean, when they do suggest to climbers who are going to do Mount Everest is you get as high as base camp, and then you stay there for a month to acclimatise to base camp. Before you start thinking about going to the top.
So it says at Mount Everest summit, the PSI is 4.89.
There you go. You've gone from 14.7 to 4.9. No wonder you have to take oxygen with you. I mean, yeah, sod that.
Yeah. Well, on our ships, which are not boats, but they're ships, when we make fresh water from seawater, on a lot of the ships we use evaporators, and we run them under a vacuum. So it's less than atmospheric temperature because we can boil them using less energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could boil it at a lower temperature.
Oh yeah. So as soon as you reduce air pressure, you reduce the boiling point of something like water.
Yeah.
Which is why the classic. When you see the film of them sitting in the vacuum chamber, they've got some water, and of course as it reaches near vacuum, the water starts.
You can boil it at room temperature.
Yeah.
So that's why we do that. And actually, I made myself look stupid years and years ago because somebody asked me as a gotcha question, what temperature do our evaps run at? And I said, well, 220 degrees Fahrenheit. And he said, no. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because that's what water boils at. It's 220 degrees Fahrenheit. And I thought that I thought I was right and he was wrong, and I had really nailed him. And then I found out they use a vacuum, and I looked like a fucking idiot. But luckily, I was young enough at that point that it was acceptable to be an idiot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and 212 is the number, Cliff, not 220.
Oh Jesus! I was thinking voltage.
Yep, I know what you were doing.
I was thinking 220 volts. 212
Yeah,
Fahrenheit or
yeah.
100 C. Oh,
Two-
Jesus.
two-
See,
two-
I can
two-
still be an idiot.
220, 221, whatever it takes. There you go.
Yeah.
I am
And-
still susceptible to being an idiot.
And-
And
and-
luckily, in Globe Earth world, somebody will correct me, and then I can stop being wrong.
That's yeah.
Hey, yeah.
The only reason I said,
Amen to
said
common
something
sense.
was the only reason I said something was just in case one of those assholes is recording it.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Hey, and over here we
Cliff
No,
is gonna
don't-
get it wrong.
They'll just edit
over
you
here
out.
we use 240, not 220 anyway.
Yeah, why do you do that? You use the wrong hertz too. You only got 50 of them. We got 60.
Because we're
Two-
British.
240 volt, 50 hertz single phase.
Yeah, because y'all like to blow up our fucking electronics when we bring them over.
Although on building
Oh, man.
sites, we transform everything down to 110 volts because it's less dangerous.
I was going to say that's because people will cut the bloody cables with their tools.
Correct.
And even with an RCD, it's not necessarily a pleasant thing to do.
No,
not
no, it's
typically.
not.
Hey, what's
my
your
daughter-
thoughts on? Oh, sorry, go on.
I can say my daughter did it with the hedge.
What's up there? Where is it?
Point is that even at the higher frequencies they're at, because they are non-ionizing, the damaging effect is still done through the heating, and there is no measurable heating effect that you can detect at the power levels they're running at.
Fair
You're
enough.
not going to cook your brain unless you even it.
Well, no, that's not what I'm worried about. I was just the slight worried, like the fear mongering, like it causes mutations, like on the cellular level, because you're being exposed to that.
It's similar to the argument when cell phones first came out. They said that they cause brain tumors.
Yeah.
Well, haven't they linked to I wouldn't claim any tumor was related by any phone. I'm not saying that at all, but haven't they linked like the radiation after a long phone call does emit from the speaker, but I wouldn't say enough to cause a brain tumor. But I guess if you're on your phone 24/7 for like 20 years, I guess
the RF doesn't come out of the speaker.
well, it's the area that gets hot and warm. I guess would be the area that would be.
It's the aerial and we hope the aerial isn't getting warm, because if the aerial in the machine is getting warm, somebody screwed up big time on the design.
Something's messed up.
But no, the RF radiation is up towards the market. I think the earliest mobile phones were about 800 megahertz, 900 megahertz, and the frequencies have been slowly going up. And from what I recall of reading of 5G the other day, they go up. It works at 3 frequency bands, the highest of which is 24 gigahertz.
Yeah.
But isn't that at lower power?
But it's at really low power. I mean,
Well,
Right.
Is it definitely low at low power then? And
I mean,
that's
we're
the explanation for the short range.
talking.
Yeah. Well,
We're talking. I
higher,
wouldn't think even a watt.
yeah, higher frequency can be propagated at lower power, which is one of the and higher fidelity.
All right, cool. Cool. I just thought I'd bring it up because I know a couple of you guys are experts in that department.
One of the reasons, one of the byproducts of using very high frequencies is that you can then get relatively wide frequency bands.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put a lot more data into a frequency band. Because you need a certain amount of bandwidth to get stuff in. Well, if you want to send data at 5 megabits per second.
Oh wait, someone's just posted a link to the wiki page that shows like there's